I became the Fleshlight King, and my ex-wife was there to ruin it. I had the most deranged dream of my life. Like Freud would have quit psychology if he heard this one. It all started with me lounging in my oversized Fleshlight sleeping bag, which, yes, was disturbingly comfortable, when the whole thing started vibrating. Not like someone's calling vibrating. No, this was ancient prophecy vibrating. The silicone walls began to glow like a rave sponsored by bad decisions, and before I could scream "not again," a portal ripped open at the base. I got sucked through faster than dignity at a frat party. I landed in a throne room entirely made of fleshlights. Walls, pillars, chandeliers, everything. Hundreds of silicone beings surrounded me, chanting in unison, "All hail the King of Fleshlights!" I didn't know whether to bow back or ask if this was a sponsored hallucination. These little squishy minions hoisted me up and carried me to a majestic throne, golden, ribbed for royalty's pleasure. And just as my royal cheeks made contact, she appeared, my ex-wife, materializing out of nowhere like bad credit. She was dressed as some kind of fleshlight high priestess, complete with a glowing staff and an expression that screamed, "I'm still not impressed." "Of course you'd end up here," she sighed, as if this was the logical conclusion to our marriage. Then, my personal fleshlight, Cream Puff, showed up, eyes glowing like she'd been upgraded to Ultra Instinct. In a chipmunk voice of vengeance, she squeaked, "You never understood his true potential." That's when the ceiling cracked open and a giant fleshlight overlord descended, trailing silicone tentacles and radiating hentai energy. It boomed, "Only the true king can restore balance to the fleshlight realm." My ex just crossed her arms and muttered, "This is so like you." Then they handed me a scepter, guess the shape, and I was ordered to defend the kingdom from a rising army of rebellious dildos. They were pink. They were angry. They had suction cup feet. I fought valiantly, swinging my squishy sword like a pervert in a fantasy novel. But mid-battle, my ex yelled, "This is why I left you!" and shoved me into the sacred fleshlight abyss, which was somehow wetter than expected. I fell endlessly, surrounded by the echo of her disappointed voice and the faint sound of Barry White music. Then I woke up, soaked in sweat, and oddly, hungry for tapioca. Subscribe for more.